Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some of the ways to work with imagery cards that get pulled if you're doing a process like my one-shot RPG that I just talked about in a previous video. And I'm going to try to keep this fairly straightforward. So I'm not going to use like a ton of different types of decks and do all the things. So just kind of want to walk through how to, or one way to explore and kind of derive some type of meaning from the imagery and the cards that you might be working with. And I'm gonna probably give myself a little bit of a creative challenge. I'm gonna be using largely this the River deck by Nick Bantock, and I say it's a challenge because it doesn't really have a lot of the cards don't really have a lot of really like clear figures on them. I guess there's like a figure down here. They're a little bit more abstract. I'm also, particularly for the character, I'll also just pull a Lorcana card, which could be a little bit more grounding in terms of like working with a specific character as well. So the first step in this process, in this one-shot kind of personal RPG, is to randomly pull a character card. And if you wanted to pull a card to represent some specific part of yourself that you're working with, yes, that could work. I don't want to imply that these are like hard and fast rules. This is just a very flexible process that is meant to be adapted. So the card really represents like the main character that I'm going to be working with throughout this process. And okay, cool. So there's kind of a figure on it, or multiple if you count this like bird creature as well. And so this is really kind of the main character. And again, just for comparison, I just randomly pulled Dewey from the Lorcana deck. And the first part is really to kind of get a little attuned to the elements of this character. And there are a lot of different ways that you can do this. So you can also, if you really, had familiarity with like improv or drama therapy, you could, try to embody the character in some way. I like to kind of have a little bit of distance and kind of just think about it as this like externalized persona almost. So things to kind of pick up on and, you could take notes are the mood, the mood of this character, the mood of, if I was working with Dewey, the mood of Dewey, their attention and focus. So Dewey very clearly is focused on, it looks like this little gemstone, where the eyes are going. This one, for me, I'm mostly attuned to this mask figure, and like those eyes are just coming right out. They're staring right at the viewer. Thinking about what might the motivation of this character be, what might they fear, what are their strengths, what are they kind of tired of. And as you're going through this process, you kind of can gently start to notice like, what kind of resonates with me? What feels similar to my own self, right? But the difference is you're not describing yourself. You are describing a character, but there might be some overlap. Tuning in to a lot of the physicality and directionality. Are they looking away, looking down, watching something, hiding something? Dewey is very obviously like reaching, like Dewey very clearly has a focus of what he's looking at. And again, like what do they care about? And it's only based on the imagery. You're not like trying to extrapolate or layer in a lot of like effort into kind of thinking about it. It's coming from like the imagery. It's based solely on the imagery. Are they protecting something? Are they searching for something? Are they waiting or holding or observing? Kind of like thinking, right? And this is kind of getting out what their motivation is, right? So there's a lot of exploration and groundwork that can be done just on the character card. And this could take, a while. It can be as long or as short as you really want to. And really, again, another kind of evocative question is, what is this character afraid of, right? What are they good at? What are they kind of like tired of doing? And again, it's this idea of kind of like describing the character, not yourself. And then if you want to make that part a little bit more clearer, that overlap, you can kind of step back from that process and think about, noticing again where maybe some of that overlaps or doesn't with where you are right now. Like, how are you like this character? How are you not? And how are you different, right? And it's kind of gentle. It's a gentle, like, oh, interesting. Just like a gentle, subtle noticing. And if you wanted to even get a little bit more detailed with that, things like, where in your life do you feel like this character? So, where, in what situation do you feel, for me, this is like a mask. It really kind of gives me that like persona energy. So, and is there anything that you said about this character that kind of surprises you? So there's a lot of different ways to work with the character.